Hey everybody out there, welcome to Nautilus Live. We are going to be on the bottom shortly. Our target depth is about 3,360 meters, and we just crossed 3,000, so we are almost there, more than 90% of the way.
So my partner just tuned in and looked at the quad cam and saw the wall of monitors and you know, all of you working in there, and he said, "Man, that job looks awesome. What does it take to have a job like that? Like, how do you fly a robot?" So I'm curious, are you guys willing to talk about your career paths, your backgrounds or training?
Wants to go?
Kim, I think you're up first.
My name is Kim. I'm flying Argus today for various organizations. I'm flying ROV since 1996, and I understand that nowadays there are places you can go to ROV school. I don't know very much about that, never having been, and a lot of organizations like Oceaneering, for instance, people that do support for offshore oil. They have pretty serious training programs, and they train their own people. For the most part, you find the RV crews made up of people who have one core competency that is relevant, electrical, mechanical, IT, navigation, something like that. And a willingness to go offshore for extended periods of time, the flexibility to do that. An interest in something that amounts to running away with the circus at some level. And
so we're the circus.
Another important thing is, or maybe the most important thing, is congeniality, the ability to get along with people that you could be very close quarters with for a month or more at a time without them wishing they'd left you home. Jess.
I think that's a perfect description. My name's Jess Sandoval. I'm on the ROV team, sit in Herc, and my route here was through one of so the Nautilus offers internship programs, and so I came out as an ROV intern back in 2015. And so that's another way to get on the ship, especially if you're just starting out. It's a very useful tool to try out internships and things like this in order to get your feet wet, because there are ROV schools, but also a lot of it's just learning on the job. I myself I have degrees in engineering of various types, and so that also helps with these types of unmanned systems. And yeah, but I would say the internship program was my first exposure, and you get trained up on the job thereafter, and it's a lot of learning on the go. Ben?
Yeah, so I'm Ben Gracian. I'm the navigator, mapper. Um, my background was more actually in the biological sciences, and I was always interested in oceanography and marine biology, and working within the field of kind of plankton ecology really got me more attuned to imaging and acoustic systems, as a lot of the study and quantification of the ocean is very technology enabled. And so for my PhD, I joined a marine robotics lab, and I'm working kind of more closely on the sensor side. And with the opportunity through Nautilus, I've been able to work on the operational side as well. And yeah, they all kind of contribute to this, my academic pursuits as well. So.
Cool, that's neat. You all have really different approaches to it.
Yeah, thanks guys. That's great. Normally on these cruises, Ocean Exploration Trust has about twice the people on board, but obviously during the pandemic, there are regulations in place. And one of the people that we're certainly missing is a science communication fellow who can act as a little bit more of an MC of each dive shift. So we're going to do our best to try and give you information when we can. And sometimes we'll have our education outreach specialists from Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary are able to join online and actually field questions. I don't know when that's scheduled right now, but there are times that that is going to happen, but we'll try and communicate the best that we can. We are about 100 meters, give or take, off of our target destination. So you're going to hear some potential chatter and stuff as the pilots and navigator and others kind of talk about the approach and as we get closer to the seafloor. But when we get down there and we get ready to go, we're going to be at the base of this volcanic cone that's roughly 200 to 250 meters in elevation off the seafloor. And we will be heading up from the base of this cone up to the top. And it's mostly formed of pillow lava, so you're going to see some interesting formations. And then as we approach the summit, we will be seeing a bunch of octopus all balled up with their eggs attached to the rock. And we're going to be surveying that for the next, roughly at least 3 to 6 hours, depending on how large the extent is, to try and get most of this area on video so we can count them later. And we'll be taking readings of the temperature of some of the water that actually is escaping from deep within the Earth's crust at a slightly warmer temperature and lower oxygen. So we're going to take measurements of that as well, as these octopus attach their eggs to rocks that are within those warm water seeps. And that's one of the big questions that we're trying to gather data for, is how, if it does benefit the octopus to lay their eggs in these warm water seeps, how does it benefit them? So we'll be talking about a lot of that stuff throughout the dive.
And Ben, just to remind me, so we're going to go 350 roughly? Okay, sounds great. Okay. And it's just to give me a general sense of where I'll be going. Sounds great. and I'll stop 050 meters. All right, Kim. I'll go down a little bit to 20 meters delta and then get in front of you. We can go together down to the seafloor.
Roger that.
Good if I took off my stick lock. That is time number 2.
Jess, can I just do a quick reset? Quick for that?
Yeah, sure. I'm out of autos.
Oh,
Go ahead, Ben.
thanks. Done.
Good. Thank you.
Whoa, all of a sudden, look at all these tire zones. Kind of came out of nowhere. Or did they come down with us?
All right,
that
Kim, I'll
possible?
meet you at about 350.
Yeah, I'm gonna do 345.
Yeah, that's fine. This is just giving us a
Yep.
general sense of where we're going.
Understood.
I'm going to zoom in there a little
Yeah.
bit.
USBL's kind of going all over the place here.
Roger that.
I'm looking down a lot. I'll set up your box.
Roger that. Actually, we're going to go around 350 if you want to turn a bit, about 20 degrees. 350.
350?
Yeah. Thanks, Kim. All right. Should I continue on down? Going down. And we are there. Great.
Woo, seafloor.
Marley, I'll get closer to the seafloor and we can do the white balance and all these things.
Yeah, take your time, no worries.
And then Ben, when you're ready, we can switch on over.
I'm on dead rec.
After that, and maybe we can just clear all those.
Yeah, I'm going to clear and do a reset for you. I just want a quick one.
All right. These guys.
Stretch it out. Yep, whenever you're ready, no rush. All right, zooming in. All right, camera's gonna go to black for just a minute or a second.
Roger that.
And Jess, if you're comfortable to come out of autos,
Yeah. Sounds good. 1 sec.
yeah, no rush.
All right. Good, Ben.
All right, then.
All right.
Yeah, so this first target, it looks like 345. And we're going to be going upslope.
Okay. 345 upslope. Over to H, which is 400 meters away.
It's about, yeah, 375.
Okay. Let me just get in front of Argus a little
Yeah,
bit.
perfect.
Although a move will take a little while to come in, so.
Whenever you're comfortable.
Sure.
A good amount of sediment-dwelling creatures that we're passing by on our way to the octocone. Oh, hello. This looks like a grenadier. Nice big deep sea fish. Also see some white cucumbers. I've noted a couple brittle stars. We're going to be approaching 2 large ones. They're sort of on opposite ends of the screen right now. That grenadier Erica Burton identified as possibly Coryphenoides armatus. Oh, there's another grenadier.
All right. So what you thinking for your moves?
Well, I mean, we have a good bit to go, but I was thinking maybe 30 meters to start. You're comfortable with that?
And what's the, can we zoom in there a bit more?
Say that again?
Would you be able to zoom in a little bit?
Yeah. The strike is this direction, so as long as we can keep Argus.
Yeah, sounds good.
All right, so I'm going to call it, I'm actually going to call in, sorry, 350, just to make sure that we don't get above it. That's good.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Okay.
Yeah, everybody, welcome to dive H1825 for the ROV Hercules, and can't forget the little brother Argus floating above. They are connected to the mothership exploration vessel Nautilus. And we are more than 2 miles deep in the Pacific Ocean off the coast of Big Sur, close to the base of an underwater mountain called a seamount. It's actually an extinct volcano, so there's no worry of any kind of eruption while we're here, just in case people wondered. But it last erupted 9.8 million years ago, or give or take a few 100,000 years. But it supports an amazing diversity of life, not only on the flanks and summit of the seamount, but above it as well. So we are at a very small outcrop or a cone, about 250 meters tall, and we're at the base of it. So we're going to be heading towards it momentarily and going uphill. And when we approach the summit, that's when all the octopus will show up. But until then, we're still going to be looking at interesting things on the way up. Potentially warm water seeps that we found on another side of the cone last year. And we should find a lot of pretty pillow lava. And by the way, yesterday was World Octopus Day, so we're a day late. That looks like Bathopathes.
Yeah, black coral there.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like these guys really need a hard substrate. It seems to have found a little rock that it's anchored to.
So this is one of the more common corals we are going to find at these depths near Davidson. They're quite relatively abundant, actually,
Marley
at this site and at the Octopus Garden as well.
That's great there. All right, go ahead and come wide, Marley.
So we're in muddy sediment right now because we're just off the cone, but that was done on purpose by design, so we are a little off the base, so we could ensure that we started at the proper bottom of the seamount itself, or the cone itself. But as we approach and start going uphill, we won't see much sediment other than what's covering the rocks.
Yeah.
Starting to feel it, Kim? Yeah.
Hey, we already have someone to greet us.
Oh, wow. That's interesting. Did you guys see them so downslope from this?
Occasionally you can.
Yeah.
This probably is a male if there's a chance to get a tight shot.
Yeah, sure.
The third arm starting from 12 o'clock going to the right clockwise, the third arm will have a modified tip.
Wow.
So that's how you can sex them, but sometimes they are very good at hiding that third arm.
All right, Marley, you want to push in there a bit?
Roger.
So as you can imagine, 12 o'clock right between the eyes there. That first arm is number 1. Then you see number 2 kind of pointing up at almost the 9 o'clock position as we look at it. And it does look like the third arm is hidden. So we may not be able to know what sex this is, but quite often they're males that are swimming around, but can't say for certain. But that's okay. We don't need to positively confirm that. We can start moving up slope.
Sure, go ahead and come wide, Marley.
This does seem to be a common posture for these octopuses. We've seen them a lot sort of reared up like that with their front arms extended upward.
I wonder if it's ROV in pose.
Possible.
So if we have anyone at home that has a pitch counter, you can start counting for us. That's 1.
Ooh, that might be a carnivorous tunicate right there. On the kind of the ledge. We will see more of them. And here's another octopus to the right, right next to that. Looks like a sea pen or a coral stalk. Oh no, that's its arm.
Another Bathypathes black coral there. So for everyone listening at home, normally we would have a more time to be comfortable with stopping at every single thing that we see or that we're interested in. However, we do have a impending weather system coming in on Sunday at some time. So we are going to try and squeeze in 2 deep dives between now and then. So we have to go a little faster than we would normally like to here. The objectives are to characterize the top of this cone. This is a really cool sedimentary shelf here. It's been differentially eroded away underneath. So at some point that's going to collapse. And that's what you'll see often in these sedimentary areas is you just find big chunks of sandstone and mudstone that have fallen off and tumbled down the sides of these hills over the millennia.
Try and zoom. Oh, never mind.
Yep.
It looks like the sponge, possibly Colophacus. And then we've got bright yellow over on the left is a stalked crinoid. So those are related to sea stars. They're a filter feeding echinoderm group.
Marley, you want to do a quick partial zoom?
Sure thing.
We can get slime stars and crinoids, everything.
That's cool.
You can go in tighter if you want.
Beautiful. Yeah, so that's the stalked crinoid. It, the stalk helps it get up into the water column and out of the sort of slow currents that tend to form and happen near the seafloor. So it's up high enough that its filter feeding can be exposed in stronger currents.
Go ahead and come wide, Marley. Thanks.
So in the science chat, Michael Vecchioni says that posture that the octopus was engaging in with those arms lifted up, it's called a deimatic posture. And it signifies it doesn't really like us there. Deimatic posturing or deimatic behavior is a bluffing behavior.
Made him look very big and scary to us.
I feel like crabs do the same thing then. They're always sitting there with their paws held up.
Thought it was a bottle or something.
More monothalamians visible here, those giant protists. You might be more familiar with their old name, the xenophyophores.
They changed it
So
on
these
us?
are, they did, I know.
Come
I have
on.
to look it up every time.
I feel like just last year
Yeah,
we were looking
they're
for
a
it.
different kind.
I was just speaking with Nicole Renault, who is the Ocean Exploration Trust expedition leader, and we have a new camera that's attached to the ROV today. It's not integrated into what you see online. It takes still images. We have it set today to every 30 seconds, but it's extremely high resolution. And these cameras are built for on the super cheap. Some models are about $100 because they're tiny little, almost cell phone-like cameras embedded in resin with a Raspberry Pi computer and a bunch of, relatively inexpensive parts. But if these engineers who know what they're doing put these systems together, and they can go to 5,000 meters and get you deep sea images for extremely cheap, but just a hobbyist can put it together. It's pretty cool.
That sand-dwelling anemone down there with the long tentacles. I think that's Boloceras. Those little red jellies you see drifting by near the seafloor, we've got two in view right now. That's benthicodon, the really common jelly that you'll find. Yeah, right there, quite close to the seafloor, just drifting right above it.
Yeah, those guys belong in a little SpongeBob cartoon.
This one doesn't look very defensive yet. Maybe he hasn't noticed us.
Is this the same species? I'm not sure this one looks exactly the same.
According to the slope map, it's going to keep on getting steeper and steeper for a bit. Yeah.
Beautiful little benthic coat on there. Nice, you can really see their red color when they get close like that.
Yeah, you can talk to lounge. Oh, I can. Yeah.
Well, I guess since we've settled in to this dive, as we kind of come up the apron of this cone here, we'll find a lot of sediment and then eventually hit some of the bare pillow lava. So until then, I guess what the science communication fellow would normally do is do a round of introductions. My name is Chad King. I'm on the research team with Monterey Bay National Marine Sanctuary and chief scientist of this cruise. I was able to hop aboard today in Monterey. So I'm in the control van right now, and normally we do have our science team out with us, but this year the science team had to stay ashore, but through wonderful technology that OET has implemented, the scientists on shore all have access to a live feed from the video camera that's actually near real time. What the public is seeing is roughly 30 seconds behind time, and we couldn't operate in that world. It'd be hard to give directions to or ask questions of the control van pilots and navigator, etc. We also have the ability to speak. So when you hear Amanda's voice, she's actually at home with her cat. So let's go ahead and start with Amanda, and then maybe we can go in the control van from the front and then to the back.
Well, hey there. Yes, I'm Amanda Kahn. I am currently streaming from Fremont, California onto the ship and then out to all of you. And I'm an assistant professor at Moss Landing Marine Laboratories, and I study animals that live on the seafloor, sponges, corals, sea squirts, those sorts of things. And yeah, I'm excited to be science watch point person number 2 on this watch. And there's an octopus.
Great, thank you.
I'll go ahead next since Ben is navigating. This is Marley. I'm in the video engineering position. So my job is controlling the zoom and focus on the main ROV cameras, as well as managing our satellite feeds, our audio levels, and all of the cameras on the ship.
She also makes sure we're all stretched out before watch.
I am also the unofficial resident yoga instructor, trying to keep everybody limber and healthy.
It's a very critical component I'm learning.
There's a hard tart. 20 meters.
Yeah, and I'm Ben Gracian, and I'm sitting in the nav seat. I work to drive the ship around, which moves Argus, enabling Hercules to explore around that area.
I'm Jess Sandoval on ROV team, currently sitting Herc.
That's all you're going to say?
Self-explanatory.
Kim Wallace, ROV team, currently flying Argus.
Mary Dury, data logger.
Mary got the one for the shortest intro there.
And add more. I help take notes on what we see on the seafloor down here. And also help make sure samples go out to the right people. And put away correctly.
I see there's a rock here. Yeah, there.
I think those introductions are time well because now we are starting to hit the rock.
Is this the lava?
Yes. And as we get up where it's just rock, we should be seeing all those really pretty formations of the pillow lava. You get the kind of the streams of cotton candy looking rock.
Cotton candy, that's a good descriptor for the morphology.
Or maybe a bunch of strands of toothpaste or something. I don't know.
I like cotton candy. Quit while you're ahead. No. It looks like he might have to change his heading.
Roger.
Can we do a quick zoom on this guy here? Look at that. Hey, I'm using the telestrator.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, that's kind of cool.
It's really cool.
I don't have to get up and walk behind and go, it's that thing
Poke.
there.
All right, Marley, you want to do a fast one?
Yeah, these are just going to, when everyone else stop. Oh, okay. Sometimes it's not clear.
That's cool.
All right, thank you.
Sure. All right.
So
coming up.
for the scientists ashore right now,